Okay, welcome back. In the last video, we were discussing about the efficiency, blade efficiency of a single stage axial flow impulse turbine. We derived the expression for the blade efficiency in terms of the speed ratio sigma and the flow angle at inlet alpha. Okay, then we done some calculations regarding the maximum blade efficiency. For that, we had the condition, namely the speed ratio, optimum speed ratio should be cos alpha by 2. Okay, and after substituting this sigma optimum in the efficiency expression, we had the expression for maximum blade efficiency as cos squared alpha, with where alpha is with reference to the tangential direction or to the horizontal to the plane of paper. Okay, so from that we also derived or deduced these conditions. Okay, so the whirl velocity at inlet will be equal to 2 times the blade speed, and at outlet, okay, the whirl component is 0 for maximum blade efficiency. So these are the conditions for a single stage, okay, axial flow impulse turbine. So we shall continue with this. Okay, so I will be moving to multi-stage axial flow impulse turbine. Okay, so you can see here. So we are going to now discuss about multi-stage axial flow impulse turbine. So I am going to consider a two stages. So already we have discussed what is a stage. Okay, so a stage consists of a fixed blade and a moving blade. So in a single stage turbine, the fixed blade is a nozzle, and moving blade you have the blade arrangement attached to the rotor system. So multi-stage turbine will have more than one set of fixed and moving blade. Will have more than one set of fixed and moving blade. You can see multi-stage turbine has more than one set of fixed and moving blades. So for example, if you take a two-stage axial flow impulse machine, okay, it will have a nozzle. So this is the primary component. Then it will have two moving blades, and in between the moving blades you have a fixed blade. Okay, so the purpose of fixed blade here is just to deflect, okay, change the direction of the fluid that is coming from the first moving blade of the first stage to the moving blade of the second stage. So you know that the fluid will be deflected. Okay, this direction will be changed after passing through the first stage. So again the fluid has to be changed to its original direction. For that purpose only fixed blade is used. Okay, but nozzle here is a stator element in which the pressure drop takes place and you have increase in kinetic energy. So there is some difference, though you have a nozzle and a fixed blade as stationary element. Okay, nozzle have some purpose of reducing or transforming the energy from one say namely the pressure energy to kinetic energy, whereas the fixed blade stator namely fixed blade is used to change the direction. Okay, so all these things are given here. You can see the entire pressure drop occurs in the nozzle. Thereafter the pressure remains constant throughout. Okay, since we are talking about an impulse machine, pressure will remain constant except in the nozzle. In the nozzle it will decrease. In the nozzle it will decrease. Okay, and the kinetic energy, so high kinetic energy will be there at the nozzle outlet, and that kinetic energy of the fluid will be absorbed in moving blades. So here we are having several moving blades, namely stages. Okay, so in first stage some part of the kinetic energy will be absorbed, and in the second stage also some part of the kinetic energy will be absorbed. So therefore the velocity has to decrease in the moving blade. Remember, pressure will remain constant since it is an impulse machine, and velocity is going to decrease along the moving blades. Okay, and about the fixed blade already I have told you. Okay, it is nothing but a direction control device. Okay, so it will provide the same direction of fluid to the moving blades. So that means moving blade 1 first set and moving blade of the second set will receive the fluid in the same direction. And the absolute velocity for fixed blade, if you see, the absolute velocity at inlet and outlet, okay, will be same. There is no change in velocity theoretically. So the incoming velocity and the velocity of the fluid that is leaving the fixed blade, so absolute quantity is going to be constant. Okay. So with this few important key points, okay, so let us now discuss the construction and working principle, what I have shown here. Okay. So previously we have seen only nozzle and moving blade. Okay, here I have moving blade 1, that is the first set of moving blade. Moving blade 2 represents the second set of moving blade. So in between I have a fixed blade. Okay, so the fluid will be leaving the nozzle, it will go through the moving blade, so its direction changes, then again it goes to the fixed blade, its direction is retained, okay, in the same direction as of the first set of moving blade, you can see. Okay, and again it leaves something like this. So this is the flow direction of the fluid. So you can see the shaft is oriented like this. Okay, like this, in this direction shaft will be. Okay. Sorry, it will be like this. So rotor will be like this. So you will be having rotor. Okay, it will be like this, and shaft will be like this. So the fluid is parallel to the axis shaft. And coming to the pressure, so the line here shows the pressure. Okay, I will indicate that also. You can see here, this is the pressure line. Okay, this is the pressure line. Pressure is going to decrease in the nozzle. I will put, say, the pressure. Okay. This pressure is going to decrease. Okay, this pressure is going to decrease in the nozzle. Okay, so this is what we are saying, pressure is decreasing in the nozzle. Thereafter the pressure is remaining constant in the moving blade 1. Fixed blade also there is no pressure drop. Moving blade 2 also there is no pressure drop. Pressure remaining constant. Only the nozzle you have some drop. Similarly, if you see the velocity, how the velocity varies throughout the system. Sorry, that I forgot to paste it. Okay. So this is the velocity. Later I will change this. Okay, velocity first will increase in the nozzle, so there is a pressure drop and increase in velocity. Some portion of the kinetic energy will be absorbed in the first set of moving blade. Okay, then the velocity remains constant. That is what I have mentioned before. The absolute velocity will remain constant. Okay, at the inlet and outlet it is same of the fixed blade. Again the kinetic energy is absorbed in the moving blade, because fixed blade it will not move, so the fluid will not give its energy, so it will retain its energy. Whereas in the moving blade the fluid gives the energy to the moving blade, so the kinetic energy drops. So this is the variation of velocity. Okay, so now we have to draw the velocity triangle for a two stage. Okay, so we are talking about a multi-stage turbine. So I have considered here two stage. So I have shown here two set of stator and rotor. So this is stator, rotor, stator, rotor. Okay, so now we have to draw the velocity triangle here. Okay, the inlet triangle to the first set of moving blade, the outlet triangle for the first set of moving blade. Eventually this becomes the inlet triangle for the fixed blade also, and the outlet velocity triangle for fixed blade, which is same as the inlet triangle for moving blade 2. And finally you have the outlet velocity triangle for moving blade 2. So we have to draw triangles, 1 here, 2 here, 3 and 4 here. 4 triangles we have to construct. Okay, the same principle. So whatever we have learnt before, okay, so is for a single stage. So we have to extend the same concept. Okay, the same principle, same velocity vector, the rules, the angles, etc. Okay, so you can see here I have marked here the okay, here you can see. So first the fluid is issuing out of the nozzle with some velocity v1. Okay, the angle is alpha 1 I have taken. The fluid angle at inlet to the moving blade 1, it is alpha 1. Then this is the direction of moving blade, you know. So this is the direction of moving blade. So I am putting in this same direction. Then I am closing with the relative velocity as per the vector rule. The angle made by the relative velocity is the blade angle at inlet for the first stage. So it is theta 1. So all other things, you know, blade velocity, the whirl component, it is also in the direction of blade. Then the axial component Vf1, etc. Okay. Then when it comes to the outlet, you can see here. So this also I have explained in the first while we discuss single stage. Okay. The point here is where to place the fixed blade. Okay. So fixed blade is a stationary blade. So you have you don't have the idea of relative. So relative velocity will come. As you see here, relative velocity is coming here tangentially to the blade. Why? Because this blade is moving, fluid is also moving. So you have relative component between the fluid velocity and the moving blade. Here if you see, your the fluid is coming with some velocity. This is moving, whereas the fixed blade is fixed. So here you have you need not worry about the relative velocity component. So the absolute velocity line should be placed tangentially to the blade profile. Okay, the absolute velocity line should be placed tangentially to the fixed blade. So whereas you see in the moving blade, tangent to the blade, we have the relative velocity. Okay, that is important. So the reason is here fluid as well as blade is moving, the first stage. Now we are talking about a moving blade and a fixed blade. So here the whatever fluid that is coming out will have some velocity and it is going to strike the blade which is at rest. So you should consider only the absolute quantity V2. Okay, and this is the blade angle at outlet for the first stage. This is the fluid angle at outlet for the first stage. Some books will use say alpha 1, alpha 2, same thing. Alpha means the fluid angle. So here they will use alpha 1, here alpha 2, here it is say theta 1, theta 2, like that they can use. Okay. So here I don't want to change the notations what we have followed so far. So I have retained. Okay. So 1 and 2 refers to inlet and outlet for the velocity quantities. Okay. For angles we are having separately, inlet and outlet are angles are given by separate symbols. So you can see 4 symbols we have used: alpha, beta, theta and phi. So simply you put 1 for this stage. If I put 2, it represents the angle for the second stage. That's all. Okay. So now let us go to the outlet of the fixed blade. Okay, outlet of the fixed blade. See. So it is again tangential to the blade. I must have the absolute quantity V3. Okay, V3. It is leaving. So 1 is inlet to the moving blade. 2 is the outlet of the fixed blade. Outlet of the moving blade or inlet to the fixed blade. 3 is the outlet of the fixed blade or inlet to the moving blade 2. So this is the moving blade 2. So here again the fluid which is leaving out of the fixed blade is absolute quantity. This fluid velocity is moving and is going to strike the moving blade, which is also moving. So you have now the relative component coming into picture. So tangent to the moving blade 2, you must draw the relative velocity line. This is the relative velocity R3 for moving blade 2. Okay. So then you can complete the triangle. So blade direction you have, this is the blade direction. So everywhere you can complete as before. Look at the angle. I have made alpha 2, theta 2 for the stage 2. Okay. And the components are, velocity components are 3, because 3 refers to the inlet to the moving blade 2 or the outlet of the fixed blade. Okay. Velocity, blade velocity is remaining constant throughout. Make a note of it. Why? Because it is an axial flow machine. U1 is equal to U2 is equal to U3 is equal to U4. So the fluid enters and leaves at the same height from the center of the axis. So there is no diameter effect for axial flow machine. So U is maintained constant. Okay. And coming to the outlet of the moving blade, say 4. So I have drawn like this. So it need not be like this. So why I have drawn like this is I have directly taken the condition for maximum efficiency. So for maximum efficiency, the world component at outlet is 0. That is the inference we had while we discussed single stage. So you see, this is a single stage. Okay, so here the world component at outlet, okay, is 0. Okay, for that we have optimum conditions and maximum blade efficiency. Okay, so the reason is it is having only the flow component. So it is required for the fluid to leave the system. To maintain its or sustain its flow, you require some velocity, but this velocity is not sufficient to rotate. Okay, so we have extracted all the rotational component of the velocity. So the world component is 0 at outlet. So that is the condition. So here also I am applying the same thing. Okay, so here VW4 is 0. VW4 is 0. You can see VW4 is 0. So that will be the condition for maximum. It need not be like this. So you can even very well put velocity V4 in this direction, and you can show some world component at outlet. So that is for a general case. So you will not have some maximum condition. Okay, so if you want, you can complete like this. So you can put V4 here, then VW4 somewhere in between here, and you can complete. And you will be having some flow angle at outlet also, beta. Here it is 90. It will be less than 90 for that case. Okay, so for this configuration, okay, for maximum blade efficiency for a 2-stage axial flow impulse turbine, we have VW4 is equal to 0. Okay, now we shall see some useful relations, some important relations from which we can derive, okay, the conditions for maximum efficiency or optimum speed ratio, etc. So we see that VW4 must be equal to 0. Okay, so what does it mean? VW4 is equal to 0 means the tangential component of VR4, the tangential component of VR4, that is the entire thing, VR4 cos theta cos phi 2. Okay, so this is the tangential component of the relative velocity at outlet. Okay, so that must be equal to u. Okay, so the entire will be equal to this u, because we have no component of world velocity at outlet. So VW4 is equal to 0 means VR4 cos phi 2 must be equal to u. And since it is an impulse machine, VR4 must be equal to VR3. Okay, there is no pressure drop in the moving blade. You can see here there is no pressure drop in the moving blade. So obviously VR4 must be equal to VR3. And again, applying the concepts, we have told that we have to maintain Vf equal to constant in order to have 0 axial thrust. Okay, under that condition, what happens? The theta 2 and theta 3 must theta 2 the theta 2 is the blade angle at inlet for second stage, and phi 2 is the blade angle at outlet for the second stage. So both must be equal to same. Okay, so or I can write VR4 cos phi 2 must be equal to VR3. So this is VR4 must be equal to VR3. I have applied that, and blade angle at inlet and outlet of the second stage will be equal. So I have replaced that phi 2 by theta 3. Okay, so this is not phi 2. Okay, I can put it as simply 2. This is not sorry for the typo. So it must be theta 2. Okay, so the angles we are talking only 1 and 2. So VR3 theta 2 must be equal to VR4 pi 2. Okay, and what about VW3 now? Okay, that is the W3 means world component at inlet to the second moving blade. Okay, if you see, this is the VW3. So this must be equal to, so already we have got this value, VR3 theta 2 is equal to u. This is u from the relation you can see. So these are equal. Okay, so this must be equal to u. So if this is u, the world component at outlet, the inlet of the second moving blade will be equal to u, again u here. So this will be equal to 2 times u. I hope this is clear. Okay, and again this is a fixed blade. This is the fixed blade, which means V2 is equal to V3. Okay, so there is no change in the fixed blade, change in the absolute velocity that is of the fluid that is entering and leaving the fixed blade. So V3 must be equal to V2. Okay, and again for the same reason, axial thrust, okay, 0, Vf2 must be equal to Vf3. Okay, Vf must be equal to constant. So under this case, what happens? Alpha 2 becomes equal to beta 1. Okay, the flow angles, okay, should be equal to 1. Okay, so under this condition, what happens? Vw3 becomes equal to Vw2. Vw3 becomes equal to Vw2. So both are equal. So Vw3 is 2 times u, we have told. So again I am applying the same concept. So Vw2 is equal to 2 times u. Okay, and let us come to the next thing. So I am extending. So let us find Vr2 cos phi 1. So this entire distance I want. Okay, so that will be equal to, so already from here to here it is u. Okay, it represents the blade direction. It's the closing the triangle law. Okay, this is Vr2 plus u is equal to V2. So already we have u here, and now I want Vr2 cos phi 1 entire distance, which means u plus Vw2 I want. Okay, so Vw2 is 2 times u already I have, one more u is there. So the entire tangential component here, okay, from here to here will be u plus 2u is equal to 3 times u. So Vr2 cos phi 1 will be equal to 3u. Again, okay, for the we are talking about the outlet now of the first set of moving blade. We are here, which is the outlet of the first set of moving blade. Now this in moving blade, since it's an impulse machine, the relative velocity again remains constant, which means Vr1 must be equal to Vr2. Vr1 must be equal to Vr2. Okay, and for the again same reason for 0 axial thrust, Vf1 must be equal to Vf2, which means blade angle at inlet theta 1 must be equal to blade angle at outlet phi 1. Okay, so from this I can write Vr1 cos theta 1, that is this distance. Vr1 cos theta 1 is equal to Vr2 phi 1. Okay, so when you equate this, I will get the value of Vr1 cos theta 1 as 3u. Okay, equal to 3u. Okay, now I finally want Vw1, the world component at the inlet to the first stage. Okay, inlet to the first stage. So this is 3 times u, this is u, so I will have 4 times u. This is the final expression. So you see, very simple. Starting from Vw4 is equal to 0, I have proceeded and I have ended up with I am ending with, so Vw1, the world component at inlet, which is equal to 4 times u. So all this for the maximum blade efficiency I am talking about. Okay, so Vw1 is equal to 4 times u. Very simple. Now if you want to find the blade work, okay, for a 2-stage impulse axial flow impulse turbine. So first I will be having the work done in the first set of moving blade, that is I have put as W1. Okay, so you know the expression W1 plus W2 into U. Okay, since beta is less than 90, it is plus sign is coming here, so it is less than 90. Okay, so Vw1 plus Vw2 into U, that will be equal to 6 times U square. How 6 times U square? You see, Vw1 is 4u, Vw2 is 2u. Okay, so you have 6u. So the summation of Vw1 plus Vw2 is 6 times u into u you have, so it is 6u square. Similarly, if you want to find the blade work of the second set of moving blade for this, okay, here beta is 90, there is no world component. Anyway, I have used the expression. The expression will be Vw3 V plus Vw4 into u. Okay, so this Vw4 is 0, so you have only Vw3, which is equal to 2 times u. So 2 times u square will be the blade work of the second set of moving blade. Okay, now you see, if you add, you will get the total blade work. Okay, we have obtained from first stage and the second stage. So if you add, it is going to be 8u square. 8u square. This is the blade work under maximum blade efficiency. And if you want to find the optimum speed ratio, so speed ratio, you know, it is the ratio between blade speed and the velocity of the fluid at inlet, that is U by V1. Okay, so for that I have taken the world component at our inlet, okay, to the first set of moving blade is equal to V1 cos alpha. Okay, so already we have VW1 is equal to 4 times U. This is 4 times U. This is 4 times. So what is VW1? VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha. V1 cos alpha 1, actually this is cos alpha 1. This is cos alpha 1. Okay. So phi will be equal to, you bring this U by V1, you bring this V1 to the denominator of this right hand side, and you bring 4 on the denominator of the left hand side. So you can write as cos alpha 1 by, you can write here cos alpha 1 cos alpha 1 by 4. So it is cos alpha 1 by 4. Okay, this is the optimum speed ratio. Okay, sorry, it is not phi. Phi is the flow. Sorry for the typo again. This is sigma. Okay, sigma optimum speed ratio. Okay, sigma by 4. Okay, I did not say this is optimum only because we have taken for maximum efficiency. All what I have given here is for the optimized case. So sigma is equal to cos alpha 1 by 4, and substitute this sigma, okay, in the blade efficiency. Blade efficiency, you know, it is the blade work, okay, W plus divided by half mv square. Okay, so for unit mass it is half v1 square only. So the same logic if you apply, will end up with cos squared alpha. Okay, alpha 1, it is alpha 1 at inlet to the first set of moving blade. So this is the efficiency for maximum blade efficiency. So I hope this is clear now. So what we have seen, I will summarize. So we have discussed the two-stage impulse machine, the working, the construction, and the working principle. So construction means how the stator and rotor are arranged, and what are the function of moving blade and fixed blade. And coming to the working principle, what happens to the pressure and the velocity as it flows, as the fluid flows, that we have to explain. And then we have to go for the velocity triangle. Okay, so we have to draw the velocity triangle, say 4 times. Okay, one is the inlet to the first set of moving blade, next is the outlet of the second moving blade, that is the inlet of fixed blade. Okay, and then the outlet of fixed blade or the inlet of the second set of moving blade, and finally you should go for the outlet of the moving blade. So you will have 4, so I have marked here 1 2 3 4. So you will be having 4 triangles, and for maximum blade efficiency, VW4 is equal to 0. From that you can apply the concept of relative velocity is constant along the moving blade. Then accordingly you can proceed, and you have to end up with the inlet valve component. Okay, and from that then you can find the blade work. Okay, I have given here independently the blade work 1 and blade work 2, then the total blade work. Then in order to derive the speed ratio, I have taken the speed ratio is U by V1. So you can take VW1 component, which is equal to 4 times U. From that you can have the expression as cos alpha 1 by 4. Okay, then the blade efficiency maximum, I have not given the step here, but you have to remember that blade efficiency is nothing but the work done divided by the input kinetic energy we have supplied. So here it is nothing but 8 U squared in the numerator and divided by half V1 square. Okay, of V1 square. So if it goes to the numerator, it becomes 16, okay, sigma square. Okay, 16 sigma square. So sigma is cos alpha 1 by 4. Okay, so if you put that, what happens, you have this final expression. Okay, cos square alpha 1, okay, as the maximum blade efficiency. So now what we have to do is, just we shall compare, okay, these expressions with the single stage. Okay, so whatever we have derived now is for a 2 stage. Okay, and you see for a single stage the work optimum, that is the under maximum condition, it is 2u square. Okay, and the speed ratio is, you can see here, cos alpha by 2, cos alpha by 2. Okay, and the maximum blade efficiency is cos squared alpha. Okay, here there is no need to put 1 because we have only single stage. Okay, so maximum blade efficiency is cos alpha square, this is cos alpha by 2, sorry, this is cos alpha by 2, and the work is 2u square. Okay, whereas here if you see the 8u square is the blade efficient blade work under maximum condition, and cos alpha 1 by 4, previously it is cos alpha by 2, it is cos alpha 1 by 4. So here you see instead of 2u square we have 8u squared. Here instead of cos alpha by 2 we are having cos alpha by 4, whereas the maximum blade efficiency is same. Okay, this is again cos squared alpha. Okay, where alpha is the inlet angle there, here alpha 1 is the inlet angle to the first set of moving blade. Okay, so it remains same. Okay, so we shall have generalized correlation now. Okay, about all those things, how this things are getting changed. Okay, so another important thing is for maximum blade efficiency may be same for a single stage and a two stage. Say for example 95 for a single stage, and then again 95 for a two stage also. But the blade work what we are going to have for the same efficiency, if you see here it is 8 times u square. If I use for the same efficiency condition, if I use a single stage, I'll be having only 2u square. So I cannot have more work developed. Okay, so the idea is here you can develop more work for the same efficiency. Okay, okay, now I will generalize. Okay, in general, okay, for a multi-stage axial flow turbine, okay, I can write W is equal to 2 times n squared u square, where n is the number of stages. N is the number of stages. You substitute 1 for a single stage, what happens? It becomes 2u squared. You substitute 2 for a two stage, then what happens? 2 square becomes 4, 4 into 2 is 8, so 8u square. So this is the expression for the optimum work, okay, for a multi-stage axial flow impulse turbine. 2n square u square, where n is the number of stages. Similarly, sigma, okay, again here there is a mistake, this sigma, okay, sigma is the speed ratio, sigma is the speed ratio. Okay, optimum speed ratio is cos alpha by 2n. You substitute 1 here, okay, it becomes cos alpha by 2, which is the optimum speed ratio for a single stage. Substitute n is equal to 2 for two stage, it becomes cos alpha by 2. So just now we have seen cos alpha by 4. So cos alpha by, if you put 2 for two stage, it cos alpha by 4 it becomes. Okay, and there is no change in the efficiency formula. Okay, so you have, it is always cos squared alpha. Okay, just for comparison you can see for same efficiency multi-stage turbine is more efficient than a single stage efficiency. For the same efficiency more blade work can be achieved. Okay, so with this I will stop. I hope now the concept is clear for multi-stage turbine. Okay, so in the next session we shall discuss reaction turbine, axial flow reaction turbine. So I will stop with this. Okay, thank you for watching.